Hello everyone, this is Al, Red Sox fan, coming to you from Al, Red Sox fan YouTube channel. Hope all is well. And we're going to have a special presentation of Glory Days Boxing, which was developed by our good friend Anthony from Bleacher Bums Gaming. The game will be out in May for purchase, and he will join me on the channel tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to discuss Glory Days Boxing. He'll also have an important announcement regarding the game, so please join us tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on the Al Red Sox Fan channel. And in our Glory Days matchup tonight, we have George Foreman, former heavyweight champion, who had an overall record of 76 wins, 5 defeats, no draws, and 68 by stoppage, taking on Gentleman Jim James Corbett, 11-4-3 with 5 stoppages. He was a defensive wizard, so it's a clash of styles. The big banger in George Foreman and the defensive wizard in James J. Corbett. Who shall prevail? We shall see. And again, Anthony from Bleacher Bums Gaming will be joining me tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to discuss Glory Days Boxing. He'll have an important announcement about the game, which will come out in May for purchase. So please join us tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here at ringside, we have the original Grognard. Check out that great channel. He just put up a video on Gunslinger, so check that out. All right, without any further ado, let's get to the fight. If you've not seen this, I'll explain it as quickly as I can and then just get to the fight. I've provided a link for Anthony's channel regarding Glory Days Boxing, so you can check out all the videos there. But what we have are two six-sided die, two 20-sided die, and two 10-sided die. And what you do first is you roll the two 6-sided die to see who has the control factor, and we'll explain that as that goes. And then once that is determined, you roll for result on the two 10-sided die, 0 through 9. We'll read the green die first, the red die second. And then one fighter is a red die, one fighter is a white die, and those are you're going to be special results such as possible knockdown, possible defense where they block a punch, and countering. Alrighty, so George Foreman takes on James J. Corbett. Again, Foreman and Corbett, both former heavyweight champions from two distinct eras and two distinct styles. The big puncher in George Foreman and the defensive wizard in James J. Corbett. Foreman defeated Joe Frazier for the heavyweight title and then would lose it to Muhammad Ali in Zaire in the Rumble in the Jungle. James J. Corbett would upset John L. Sullivan in the first heavyweight championship fight with gloves, and then would go on to lose to, I believe it was Bob Fitzsimmons, and the solar plexus punch. Alrighty, scheduled for 10 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. I might mess up a few rules, but overall, we'll do A-okay. Also here at ringside, we have Captain Carl, Sports Time Machine, and ID Gesture. They had a wonderful game going. Don't tell me who won. I have to go back and watch it as I was setting up my stream. So check that out on ID Gesture's channel. They played the Game 1 of the 1968 World Series using, yes, that company's game, Stratomatic. We do love the game. We're just not fond of the company at times. And Captain Carl is my good friend. He tells me when Strat has sales because I don't get the emails even though I signed up for it. All right, here we go. So Foreman and Corbett. Foreman will be the red die. Corbett will be the white die. Now, when you buy the game, it'll come with blue and red, but I don't have blue and red dies. So, alrighty, we'll roll for control as we start round number 1 and segment number 1. There are 9 segments. And that is a 2 for Foreman and a 1 for Corbett. A 2 for Foreman is 2 stars on the outside, and a 1 for Corbett is 2 stars on the outside. So it's going to be a toe-to-toe exchange, and we'll just go with Foreman will go first. That's how I determine it. So now we'll roll for the result. Foreman rolls a 61. A 61 from the outside. Foreman misses those punches. An opportunity for Corbett, an excellent boxer, to counter, and that's a 3, and he will counter. And he'll land 2 punches on the counter. And Corbett, not a big puncher at all, and that's a 7, well out of his power range. And now he'll roll for his own outside action. And that, wrong die. Where's the other one? There it is. And that is a 39. So a 39 outside for Corbett. He's going to land some shots there. A nice 3-punch combination, a jab, a hook, and a cross, in and out. Foreman, not a defensive wizard. That's a 14. He blocks nothing. So in that exchange with the counter, Corbett lands 5 punches and moves away. Good job by Corbett. Stamina for Foreman, he was not a good stamina fighter, only 55, where Corbett has 90. That will be an issue for Foreman, as he'll look to knock out James J. Corbett early. So we go to segment 2. Corbett is in control. We rolled 5s for both fighters. That's a 1 on the inside for Foreman and nothing on the inside for Corbett. So Foreman will take the play away from Corbett. The wide punching George Foreman, can he land something big? And that is a 75 on the inside. A 75 on the inside is a missed punch. Corbett has an opportunity to counter here, and he misses with the counter. We move to segment 3. Foreman again trying to get in a rhythm. Corbett trying to frustrate him. And that is a 4 and a 6. A 4 for Foreman, and that is 2 outside. And a 6 for Corbett, 1 outside. So again, Foreman going to load up and fire away. Can he land on the elusive James J. Corbett? And that's a 13 from the outside. And that is 4 heavy pounding shots that Foreman can possibly land. Let's see if the defensive whiz Corbett can block any of those, and that's a 3. He's going to do a nice job dipping, diving, and blocking. A 3, 1 through 5 on defense when you roll. That's a -1, so 3 shots do get through. They're thudding shots. Corbett blocks 1. We roll for the power, and that's an 8. Foreman's power is a 7, so just out of his range. We move to segment 4. Those were some good hard shots landed by George Foreman. Foreman has momentum. Both roll 5s. That's a 1 on the inside for Foreman and a nothing for Corbett. So again, Foreman can try to land those big punches on the inside. He does throw wide though, and that is a good result for him on the inside, a 0-8. And those again, 4 heavy shots. Corbett feels those 4 shots. Possibly landing defense, and that's a 4 for Corbett. He parries away another blow. So only 3 of the 4 land, but those were hard shots by Foreman. We roll for the power check, and that's a big possible knockdown, and that is a 1. Foreman looking to end it here. We have to roll on the Corbett card. His chin check is a 2. So anything higher than a 2, a 4 means he's hurt. He needs to roll higher than a 4, and it is a 12. He survives those hard shots. But Foreman's starting to find the range here on the smaller Corbett. We go to segment 5 of round 1. That's a 6 for Foreman, 2 inside, and a 5 for Corbett. Nothing inside. So again, Foreman imposing his will, trying to pound away with those big booming punches on the inside. That is a 72 and a 72. He's going to miss with those shots. Here comes the quick countering Corbett, and that's an 8. He will miss with his counters as he needed a 1 through 6 to counter. His 8 misses. We move to segment 6 of round 1. We're halfway, 3/4 of the way through round 1. And that is a 3 for Foreman and a 5 for Corbett. A 3 for Foreman, 2 inside. That's a good result for Foreman. And a 5 for Corbett. Again, Corbett just out of sorts. The bigger man imposing his will. Here comes Big George. And that's a 43 on the inside. A 43, what will it be? We shall see on the 43. A good 1-2 short punches for the wide punching Foreman. He really shortened those punches up quite nice. Possibility of 2 punches landed. Let's see if Corbett can block any. That's a 5 defense. And he blocks 2. So he blocks both of those punches. Neither of them land. Good job by Gentleman Jim Corbett. But the big George keeps plodding forward, cutting off the ring. Segment 7, a 2 for Foreman and a 1 for Corbett. And they're both 2 stars on the outside. It's going to be a toe-to-toe exchange, and that's not going to be good for the smaller man, most likely. So Foreman with momentum goes first, and that is a 91. That could be a clinch, and that will end the segment. Let's see if that's a clinch. 91 on the outside. It is a clinch, so he ties up. Corbett ties up quickly, and the referee in this bout breaks them. The referee is Chuck Hazzett, and he has no adjustments for either fouls or stoppages. So we move to the final 25 seconds of round number 1. Corbett and Foreman. It's been a doozy here so far, and it's double fours. A 4 for Foreman is 2 on the outside, and 2 on the outside for Corbett. Again, Foreman will go first. He has momentum, and that is a 10. A 10 on the outside for Foreman. That is a heavy 4-shot combination, possibly landing. Let's see if Corbett can use his defensive wizardry to block anything, and that's a 6. And that's going to be a good result on defense as he blocks 2 of the 4 punches, but 2 thudding shots do get through. And now we go power check, and that's a 12. That's outside of Foreman's power range, and here comes Corbett right back. Not a hard puncher trying to score, though, and that's a 25 from the outside for Corbett. A 25 is a good 2 jabs and a solid right cross. A possibility of 3 punches scoring there. Foreman, again, pretty much a defensive sieve. Let's see what Foreman rolls on defense. If he rolls a 3-5, it's actually a punch added. He rolls 11, and we move to segment 9. So the final 25 seconds of round 1. I think I said that already, but there might be an additional 25 seconds here. That's a 4-1. So Foreman has a 2 stars on the outside and 2 stars on the outside for Corbett. So again, they're going to exchange. Foreman will go first. And that's a 20 from the outside. Again, 4 heavy shots possibly landed by Foreman. He's up to 12 possible punches landed. Corbett rolls for defense. And again, that's a 6. 2 of them are blocked. But 2 thudding shots get through. Power check. And that's out of the range. That's an 11. So now Corbett will retaliate with his punches. And that's a 23 from the outside for Corbett. And he lands a nice 4-punch combination, darting in, darting out. Let's see if anything will be added or subtracted. 13 for Foreman, and there's the bell. So, after 1 round of really good action, where Foreman definitely landed the harder punches, it is Corbett with a 2-punch advantage, as he landed 12 punches. And again, remember, George Foreman's stamina is only 55, so he will tire. Foreman landed 10. So Corbett from 90 goes to 80 for the next round. And Foreman, 3, is down to 43, excuse me. Now we'll roll for the 3 blind mice. Our judges are Adelaide Bird, Richard Green, and Harold Letterman. Harold Letterman just scores it for the higher person, so he gives it 10-9. He's judge number 3. 10-9 for Corbett. Corman defeated Sam McVie in a split decision in a bout I just played offline, and now takes on George Foreman. So now we'll roll for Adelaide Bird. And Adelaide Bird, punch results 1 through 4 punch differential. 1 through 10 goes to the high scorer, 11 through 17 the low scorer, and that's a 13. And so she's going to give it to the low scorer, George Foreman, 10-9. And now we roll for Judge Green, and that's a 2. He will give it to, as he goes 1 through 13 for the high scorer, so he'll give that to James Corbett, 10-9. Move on to round number 2. Foreman will still maintain momentum because they both landed, but Foreman landed while he still had momentum. So round number 2, Foreman down to 43 stamina, Corbett 80 stamina. Here we go. There's the bell. Fighters come out. Big George looking to land some big hard punches. That's a 3-3. So a 3 for Foreman's 2 on the inside, and Corbett 2 on the outside. So Foreman will go first. Trying to land those thudding shots. That's an 86 on the inside. 86, and they clinch. So that ends that segment. We go to segment 2, as Corbett wanted nothing of that. And the referee has it, breaks them. Segment 2, round 2, that's a 2-3. A 2 for Foreman is a 2 on the outside. A 3 for Corbett is a 2 on the outside. So it's going to be an exchange. Again, Corbett wants to stay out of those exchanges, but Foreman imposing his will. And that's a 0-0. And that is going to be a hellacious 5-punch onslaught by Foreman. So a possible 5 hard blows landed by Big George Foreman on the smaller defensive wizard, Corbett. And that's an 8. All the punches get through. And now we roll for the power check. And that's a 2, which Foreman's power is a 7, so it falls in the range. Corbett's chin check is a 2 and hurt 4, so he needs to roll a 5 or above not to be hurt or go down, and it's a 15, so he absorbs those punches well, but he's a bit shooken up by that. We move to segment 3, Big George imposing his will. Corbett really has nothing that he can do to slow down Big George Foreman, and that is a 1-6. Foreman rolls a 1, no stars there. Corbett's got to take advantage of this with that 6. He gets 1 star on the outside. That's good enough for Corbett. So no offensive action for Foreman, and Corbett's going to land a nice combination there. That's a 0-3 from the outside, and Corbett is an outside magician. He's going to land 5 quick punches, masterfully boxing his way in and out. So 5 punches landed by Corbett. Let's see if anything is added or deducted by the defense of George Foreman. We roll an 8, so that's a no. Here comes the power check. Again, Corbett, power, you need to roll a 2 or lower, and that's a 12. So no power there. But good 5 punches, scoring blows, quick in and out. We move to segment 4, and that's a 5 of round 2. That's a 5 for Foreman. And Foreman, that's a 1 star inside against a 2 for Corbett, and that's a 1 star inside. It'll be an exchange. Since Corbett landed last, he'll go first this time. And that's a 62 on the inside. 62, he misses. A chance for the power punching Foreman to counter. He misses his counter, but now he'll go with his regular exchange, and that's a 26 on the inside for Foreman, a 26 on the inside, and those are a hard 3-punch combination. You can see him possibly lifting the smaller man, Corbett, off his feet, a la Joe Frazier. So that's 3 punches, possibly of 8 punches now landed. Let's see if some of those punches were blocked. None of them were blocked. Power check, and that's a 2. That is a 2 again. He possibly has the smaller fighter hurt. Corbett has to roll a 5 or more, and he does. That's a 17. Ooh, just stayed away from the cut. We go to segment 5. Big George Foreman imposing his will on the smaller James J. Corbett. And that's a 4 for Foreman, and that is a 2 stars on the outside and a 2 for Foreman, a 4, 2 stars on the outside, a 2 for Corbett, 1 star inside, so it's all George Foreman. No offense for Corbett there, unless it's a counter, and that's a 33. There's no counter there, because that 4 from the outside, 33. Foreman's going to land again. 3 hard punches, 2 jabs, and a possibly hard right hand. Foreman pouring it on. Let's see if Corbett blocks any of those. No, he doesn't. Power check once again, and that is a 6. Again, Foreman lands in the power range. Can Corbett survive another onslaught here? And he does. That's an 18, which is just outside of the cut range. We move to segment 6 of round 2. It's been all Big George Foreman. The smaller man has no answer for the power of Big George. We roll for control, and that's a 3 for Foreman. That's 2 on the inside against a 5 for Corbett. That's no stars on the inside. Again, it's going to be all Big George wailing away on the smaller man. That's a 22. That's going to be a very good result on the inside. A 3-punch hellacious combination. There's an uppercut that possibly split the defense there. As he's really doing a job on him. Does Corbett block anything? No, he doesn't. Power check, just out of the power range. We moved to segment 7, but Foreman pouring it on. Corbett just trying to survive round number 2. It's been a hellacious onslaught, and that is a 3 for Foreman. That's 2 on the inside, 2 stars, and that's how you indicate who has control. And a 1 for Corbett. That's 2 on the outside. So Foreman on the inside will throw his punches first, and that is a 96, and that is a possible foul. But 1 punch does land. Foreman does get credit for 1 punch. And now Foreman's foul rating is a 3. So we roll. It needs to be a 3 or lower, and it's a possible foul. It's a 16. There is no foul. We move to segment 8 as the round's closing, and it's been all Big George Foreman. And that's a 3 for Foreman, as he's the red die, and that is 2 on the inside. Again, those are good results for George. And a 1, 2 on the outside for Corbett. Foreman imposing the will, the bigger man imposing the will on the better, smaller man, and that is a 15 on the inside. 15, a heavy 4-shot combination. Hooks to the body and up to the head with the uppercut. Does Corbett block any? And that is a 6, and Corbett will block 2 of those. But 2 get through. That big jarring uppercut gets through. Now we roll for a power check. It's an 11, and we move to the final 25 seconds. Oh, wait, we gotta have Corbett's got to have his results from the outside now. So Corbett goes from the outside. My faux pas, and that's a 5. Corbett's going to retaliate with a nice 4-punch combination. Quick combo. 2 left rights. Let's see if Foreman can do anything defensively. No, he cannot. We roll for power. Again, not much power at all, if non-existent for Corbett, really. Now the final 25 seconds of round 2. It's been all Big George, though Corbett tried to rally late here. And that's a 3 for Foreman. That's 2 on the inside against a 5 for Corbett. No stars. It's going to be all Big George for the final 25 seconds. He's going to pound away on the smaller man. He's got him pinned on the ropes. And that's a 96. None of those punches are going to land. That will be another possible foul. Again, Big George foul rating is a 3. And we roll a 4. No foul. And there is the bell. A big round for George Foreman. He landed 17 hellacious punches. They were all hard. They were meant to knock Corbett unconscious. So he landed 17 punches. Corbett landed 9. But Corbett wants to take him into deep waters, as they say. So that's 17. So Corbett landed 9. Foreman's stamina is already down to 34. And Corbett, stamina has 80, less the 17. He's down to 63. And that is a huge round. The differential there, 8 points. So let's go to 3 blind mice here. 1 through 13 for Adelaide Bird. She'll score it to the high. And it's a 6, so she gives it to Foreman. 10-9. And Green, pretty much a similar thing. That's a 3. He'll give it to Foreman. 10-9. That's the way I saw it. 10-9 for Foreman. And Harold Letterman gives it 10-9 for Foreman. So Corbett. We now move to round number 3. Foreman has the momentum. Quickly go to the chat. Casey Jones is with us. How you doing, my friend? As Captain Carroll says, I have a feeling it's going to be a short fight. Inside 6, he says. We'll see. Foreman Foreman tires, though, so Corbett has to survive early. So we move to round number 3, and here's the bell. Foreman has momentum, and they're snake eyes, one apiece. So that's a no result for Foreman, and 2 on the outside for Corbett. Corbett, as Foreman starts to tire here, Corbett's got to take advantage of it. We roll, and that's a 35 outside for Corbett. 35, and that is a good 3-punch combination. Quick scoring shots for Corbett. We roll for any type of defense or punches added. That's a 5, and Foreman with a 5. That's an extra punch landed by Corbett. So that's where the poor defense comes in by George Foreman. Corbett's able to land an extra punch, and here goes the power check again. We need a 2 or less, and we get a 14. We go to segment 2, so a good start, a good beginning. As they told Corbett in his corner, you have to be first, quick, in and out. And we roll for control. That is a 4 and a 5. A 4 for Foreman is 2 on the outside. A 5, nothing for Corbett on the inside. So Big George huffing and puffing, hoping to blow Corbett over. And that's a 20. A 20 on the outside. And that's a good 3-punch, hard punches Foreman lands possibly. Again, we have to roll for Corbett's defensive capabilities, which are quite good. So a possibility of 3 punches landed here. We roll for defense, and that's excellent roll. That's a 4. That's going to knock off 1 punch there. As a 1 through 5 is a -1, 6, and 7 is -2. So Foreman only lands 2 punches, but they're hard shots. We roll for power check, and Corbett's able to roll with the punches. No ill effect. I mean, they're starting to lump them up a bit. And we move to segment 3 of round number 3. And that's a 1 for Foreman and a 6 for Corbett. A 1 is 2, nothing on the outside for Foreman, and a 6 is a 1 star. But that 1 is good enough for Corbett. He has to take advantage. He has to take advantage. Foreman off balance, and he does not take advantage. That is a 98. Possible foul. This will end the segment. So Corbett, who fouls a lot for a smaller fighter, that's a 9. So 9 and under is a possible foul. That's a 19, no foul. We move to segment 4. He got away with one there. Hazlitt didn't see it. Has it. What's the ref? I'm going to say Hazlitt. That's a coach. Has it. All right, here we go. Segment 4, round 3. That's a 5 for Foreman, and that's 1 star on the inside against a 3 for Corbett, and that's 2 on the outside. Corbett, again, has to take advantage of this. You can see Foreman off balance, lunging. Corbett quicker on his feet, and it's from the outside. He will not. That's a 67. He does not take advantage of that. He misses, and here comes Big George with a countering opportunity, and he misses the counter, as that was a go-home right hand. We move to segment 5, round 3. It's a 3 for Foreman, which is 2 stars on the inside, and 2 for Corbett, which is 1 star on the inside. So Big George trying to impose his will once again, and that is a 96. A 96 for Foreman on the inside. Possible foul. It's getting a little dirty here between these, a little chippy between these fighters. That's an 18, no foul. We move to segment 6. It's been a sloppy third round here. I mean, the bigger man Foreman is just any time he can. He's just trying to rough up Corbett. And that's a 4 for Foreman and a 1 for Corbett. A 4 is a 2 on the outside. And Corbett has a 2 on the outside. Foreman had momentum. He'll go first. And that's a 64. He will miss his punches on the outside. Possible countering opportunity. And Corbett throws and misses. Now Corbett goes with his own regular combination. That's a 15. He needs, and that is a good result. A 15 as he darts in and out. Lands 4 punches possibly. And he moves away, and they will land as Foreman does not block any, and none are added to it. We move to segment 7 of round 3. A good comeback round for Corbett. You can see Foreman tiring. He's losing energy, and that's a 4 for Foreman. 2 stars on the outside, and a 2 for Corbett. Corbett's going to get trapped on the inside. He's trying to move away. Big George's going to wail away now. And that is a 13 from the outside for Foreman. A 13. 4 heavy possible landing blows. We'll have to see if Corbett's defensive wizardry can block any, and that's an 11. He blocks none. Power check 14 as Corbett absorbs them. He rolls with the punches nicely. And now we move to segment 8, final 45 seconds of round number 3. It's been a good round for Corbett, with Foreman trying to close the gap here. It's close, and that's a 5 for Foreman, and that's 1 star on the inside and a 2 for Corbett. That's 1 star on the inside, so Foreman traps Corbett on the ropes. Foreman will go first, and that is a 12 on the inside. Oh, those are going to be some big punches. 4 punches possibly land on the smaller Corbett as he's on the ropes, dipping and diving, and all 4 punches land to the body and to the head of Corbett. Power check is a 2, a possibility of a knockdown. The big shots from Big George. So now for the chin and knockdown check, Corbett has to roll a 5 or more, and he does. That's an 18, and 18 is not a cut check, as we need a 19 or a 20. The final 25 seconds, Big George has taken control of it. Can Corbett rally at the end? That's a 1 for Big George. Gentleman Jim gets a 2. A 1 is no stars on the outside. So this is going to be a favorable result, as Corbett gets 1 star, but 1 star is enough, and it will be on the inside, though. And Corbett does not like to fight on the inside, and that's a 58. He will miss those punches on the inside, as he needs up to a 44 to make it, and 45 through 82 is a missed punch. So a big opportunity on the counter. Can Big George land on the counter? No, and there is the bell. Momentum will be with Corbett, I do believe. That's the way we're calling it when we start round 4. So Big George landed 10 very hard punches, as he was throwing a lot of go-home punches. So he landed 10. Corbett's stamina is now down to 53. Corbett landed 8, as he was fighting for his life, Charlie Brown. And Big George's stamina goes from 34 to 26, as his stamina is fading fast. So we know Harold Letterman gives it to the higher scorer, and it's 10-8, so that's going to go to Big George, 10-9 in round 3. Now, Adelaide Bird will roll for her, a 2-point difference, and that's a 10. With a 2-point difference, she still gives it to Big George, who's the higher point getter. So Foreman wins it 10-9 on her card. And here comes Green, Judge Green, and that's a 7, and he too will give it. Richard Green will give it to Big George Foreman, 10-9. So the close rounds have been going to Foreman. We prepare for round number 4. Foreman's down to 26 stamina. Corbett, 53. Corbett coming off his victory over Sam McVeigh, which was quite impressive, a split decision, which has earned him his shot at Big George Foreman. Here we go for round number 4. Take care, Mr. Utah Mike, Sports Time Machine. Check out that great channel. Here we go, round number 4, and that is a 3 for Foreman and a 4 for Corbett. A 3 for Foreman is 2 on the inside, and Corbett rolled a 4. That's a 2 on the outside, so Corbett will go first. From the outside, from distance, comes Corbett, and that's a 0-4, and he's going to catch Big George walking in, and 5 punches nailed Foreman. My God, if Corbett had any power, he might have dropped him. So a great 5-punch combination, all landing quickly on Foreman's head. Let's see if Foreman blocks any, or if anything's added to it. That is a 6. A 6. And nothing is added or blocked. Power check, again, Corbett needs a 2 or under, and that's a 6, so his power's non-existent. And now Foreman barrels forward, pushes Corbett to the ropes. He's going to throw his punches from the inside. That's a 94. They fall into a clinch, and that ends segment 1. We move to segment 2, so Foreman lands nothing as Corbett gets off the ropes as quickly as possible, as Has it breaks them. It's a 3 for Foreman and a 6 for Corbett. A 3 for Foreman is 2 on the inside. A 6 is a 1 on the outside. So Big George Foreman again pins Corbett on the ropes. He's going to wail away, and that's a 22 for Big George on the inside. 3-punch combo, and those are hard thudding shots. Those wide hooks are trying to find their mark. Can Corbett dip, dive, and dodge? No, he can't. All three land. Power check for Foreman, 19. Possible cut. Possible cut on Corbett, as a 19 or 20 is a cut swelling check. Corbett is a 4, so he needs to roll a 5 or more to avoid a check. And it's a 3, so Corbett's starting to get puffed up, banged up. A 3 on the cut swelling is his left eye begins to swell, and there's no check for TKO on that. On the first, second, the third time there's a check. So it's a swelling on the left eye here in round number 4, as those thudding shots are starting to lump up the smaller defensive wizard, Gentleman Jim Corbett. So it's swelling left eye. We move to segment 3 of round number 3. The big George Foreman imposing his will on Gentleman Jim Corbett. That's a 5 for Foreman. That's a 1 star on the inside and a 4 for Corbett. That's 2 stars on the outside. So Corbett's able to dance away from the ropes. He'll throw his punches from the outside. That's a 57 from the outside, and he lands a good 1-2 combination, snapping Big George's head back. Quick shots. And let's see if there's any. And that's a 1. Big George will actually get his paw up and block one of those shots. So the right does not get fully through. We'll still roll for power, and again, non-existent. We roll a 17. We go to segment 4. As Corbett trying to stay on his toes, and Big George trying to cut off the ring. Segment 4, round 3. We roll double 5s. A 5 for Foreman is 1 star on the inside, and nothing for Corbett. So it's going to be all Big George as he's able to cut off the ring and trap Corbett on the ropes again. And that is a 50. A 50 on the inside. And those punches are missed by Big George. They were wide punches. Corbett with an opportunity to counter, and he misses his countering shots as he was thinking more of getting the hell out of there. We move to segment 5 of round 3, and it's a 2-1, so a 2 for Foreman is 2 on the outside, and a 1 for Corbett is 2 on the outside. Foreman will go first, and it is a 29 for Foreman on the outside. A 29 is a 3-punch possible combination landed, and everything George throws is hard. So we move this to the 6, but let's see the defensive check, and they all land. Those are 3 thudding shots. The big right hand lands. Power check, and Corbett was able to roll with those punches, and now Corbett will retaliate from the outside, and that's a 90. He will miss his punches from the outside. And here comes a huge countering right hand, and that misses from Big George. Segment 6, round 3, as we have a minute 20 left in round number 3. Big, you can just see the difference in the power, and that has been the big difference in the fight. Now Corbett hopes to take the stamina away from Big George. That's a 5 for Foreman, and that's a 1 on the inside against a 6. That's a 1 on the outside for Corbett. So Foreman will go first from the outside. Inside, excuse me. And that's an 11. That's going to be a good result. 4 hard blows possibly could land, but again, there's a lot of dipping and diving. We don't know what actually is landing. Possibility of 10 punches landed now by Foreman. And let's see what Corbett can do here. They all land their 4 thudding shots. Power check, and that is a 6. That is a 6. It is a 6, and it lands in the power range, and it's an exchange, but we're going to just play it out this way. If he goes down, he goes down. He's not a hard puncher anyway. So let's see. We got to roll a 5 or better, and we do. So those punches are landed. And now Corbett's going to try to land some quick shots of his own from the outside, and he will. That's a 31. A 31 3-punch combo. Jab, hook, and right hand. They're quick scoring blows. Foreman rolls a 4, and that's and Corbett lands 1 for good measure on the way out. So he lands an extra blow. Again, Foreman is a defensive sieve at times. Now we roll for power. We got to roll for a 2 or less, and it's an 11. Segment 7, round 3. Corbett trying to out-hustle the bigger George Foreman, and that's a 4 and a 3. So a 4 for Foreman, 2 on the outside against a 3, 2 on the outside. It will be an exchange. And Corbett will go first. I might have messed that up, but that's how we're doing it. And that's a 50 from the outside. Corbett's going to land a good 1-2 combination. Jab right hand, quick scoring blows. Let's see if anything will be added by the defensive sieve. That is a 6. And nope. 1 or 2 is a -1. 3, 3, 5 is a +1. It is a 6. So here come, and we'll roll for the power, which we know is non-existent. That's an 8. God damn it, it moved everything. I think we're in segment 8, I think. We'll call it segment 8. So here comes Big George, and that's a 0-7. George from the outside, 0-7. Oh my God, he's going to pound away with 4 big punches. So 4. See if any of them are blocked. They are not. That's a 7, which just falls out of the... Oh, no! That's good. 7. Corbett blocks 2 and dips away from... Blocks 1 and dips away from another. So 2 out of the 4 are blocked. Power check for Foreman is a 16. We move to the final 20 seconds of round number 3. Hopefully Al doesn't knock anything over like he just did. And that is a 6 and a 3. A 6 is 2 on the inside for Foreman. And a 3 is a 2 on the outside for Corbett. Corbett goes first. It's a 38 for Corbett. On the outside. 3, yep, on the outside. So that is a 38. 3-punch combo. Again, 2 quick jabs and a cross. Lots of punches being landed here by Corbett in this round. He just doesn't have anything on it. And let's see if anything results from it. 19 for Foreman, nothing. Power check. And that's a 6, well out of his range. And here we go as we approach the bell. Foreman will pound away now. And on the inside, that is a 36. Those are going to be hard shots. A good 1-2, possibly. Corbett, we roll for defense. That's a 9, and now the power check. God damn it, I'm knocking down the pawn. That's a 5. A possible knockdown result. That was a 5. Again, Corbett has to roll a 5 or more to avoid being hurt or knocked down. And the white die rolls off. And it's a 9, and there's the bell. So he avoids everything. But Foreman, they both land 14 punches, as that was a hellacious round of action, but the power definitely is with Big George Foreman. And Foreman's stamina is down to 12. Letterman will score the fight even that round, 10-10. We'll give that. And now it's 14-14, so there's no point differential. So what I do here, because I didn't see any rule, there might be, Anthony might probably tell me later. What I see here, I'm going to roll the red and the white. And so that's high, that's low. And we'll roll for the 2 blind mice, as Letterman made it even. So Adelaide Bird is a 15, and a 15 she gives it to the low, and that would be 10-9 Corbett. And now we'll roll for Judge Green, and that's an 11. And Richard Green gives it to the high, which is Foreman. And here at ringside, we have W. Voggs. How you doing, my friend? Check out that great card collecting channel. Dave Gardner, finally home from the rink. That's awesome sauce. And I don't remember who had momentum. So we will say Foreman, because he was the bigger puncher, has momentum. as we prepare. Oh, let's do stamina check for Corbett, 53. And Foreman landed 14 punches. Again, his punches are much harder. I mean, if I was judging that, I would have given it to Foreman 10-9, close. So Corbett's down to 39 for stamina. We approach round number 5, both fighters off their stools. And here's the bell for round 5. And Foreman has a 4, which is a 2 on the outside. Corbett has a 6, which is a 1 on the outside, so Big George has the advantage here, and Big George will go wailing away as his stamina is leaving him, and that's a 38. He's sensing he's tiring, and he really wants to take Corbett out now. So a 38 from the outside for Big George Foreman. 2 punches possibly could land. A good one, too, a jab and a big right hand. Can Corbett's defense nullify it? And he does! As we roll a 1. The right hand might have gotten through, but one of them was blocked. We check for the power result. Again, Big George, 7 and under, possible knockdown. And it is a 9, so he just misses out on his power. We go to segment 2. Corbett, I don't know what Corbett can really do to change the tide of battle here, as he's a much smaller, great defensive fighter, but he has nothing on his punches. We roll double 3s, so that's 2 on the inside for Foreman and 2 on the outside for Corbett. So Corbett's going to get some distance here, but Foreman's going to get on the inside first and try to pound away, and that's a 97. That could be a clinch. No, it's a possible foul. But a 1 punch does land. A dirty little punch on the inside for Foreman. Now, did the ref catch it? That's the question. Foul rating for Foreman's a 3, so it's got to be a 3 or lower, and it's a 6. They didn't catch it, so no foul. And here comes Corbett. From the outside, he gets his distance, trying to work his in and out jabs and right hands. That's an 82, and he will miss those shots. And Big George will throw a countering punch, and he misses. Go to segment 3 of round number 5. Very close one here, but both men are wearing out for different reasons. Foreman's stamina is going, and Corbett has some swelling around that left eye. He's just taking a hellacious beating from the harder puncher. And that is a 5-1. A 5 for Big George Foreman, 1 star on the inside, and a 1 for Corbett. That's 2 on the outside. Corbett finally takes play away from Big George. He's got to land, and he's not going to. That's a 97. And Corbett, for the smaller man, does foul quite a bit in his bouts. 97. He'll land a punch. We roll for a foul result. And again, he needs a 10 or better to avoid the foul, and he doesn't. He gets a 6. So, gets the 6. And now we'll go to the foul chart. And foul chart. Foul. Where's the foul chart? Oh, down the bottom. Yes, dum-dum. On the card, right at the bottom. I looked over here, but that's if there's a disqualification. Let's see what type of foul it is. That's a 16. So Corbett is warned for holding. Okay, he's warned for holding. And that is his first warning. Nothing. They just warn him for holding. A warning for holding. We move to segment 4 of round 5. Corbett has momentum. That's a 2 for Foreman. That's 2 outside against the 1 for Corbett. That's a 2 outside. So Corbett will go first from distance, and he's not going to be successful. That's a 65. He will miss his punches. Here's the countering opportunity for Big George Foreman, and that's a 10. He misses his counter, but now he takes his normal shots at Corbett as he closes the distance and tries to land thudding punches, and he's going to miss. That's a 74. From the outside, 74. He misses. Corbett will now try to launch her counteroffensive, and that's a 6. A 6, and the punch will, yes, 2 punches land. a good left-right combination. And since punches did land, I like to roll for power, even though it's non-existent. But it's a 20! Possibly cutting Big George Foreman with a crisp 1-2 combination on the counter. Cut check. Foreman is a 6. And that is a 6. So Big George will have some sort of cut or swelling damage. And that's a 15. Cut on the left cheek. Oh, so Corbett finally inflicts some damage here in round 5. It's a cut left cheek. Let's quickly look at over here. I don't think that cut left cheek. First time, not applicable. So ref just looks at it as blood starts to flow from the cheek area. We move to segment 5. Round 5. Corbett with momentum. And that's a 4-4. 2 outside for Foreman. 2 outside for Corbett. Corbett will go first. The smaller man gets his punches off quicker. And that is a 15 from the outside. A very good result. 4 punches landed, possibly. Foreman, defensive check. That's a 5, which is not good, as Corbett lands one more shot for good measure on the way out. So that's up to 9. Power check. 8, well out of his range. And now Foreman will try to retaliate, and that's a 78. He's going to miss his shots. And Corbett has an opportunity to land a couple more blows here, and he misses. Go to segment, I believe, 6 now. And Foreman has a 6, Corbett has a 2. A 6 for Foreman, 2 on the inside against a 1 for Corbett, so it's going to be all Big George, and he pins Corbett on the ropes. He's going to start flailing away. Will he land? Oh, he's going to land big time. A 0, 4, 5 hellacious punches as Foreman tries to rip Corbett's head off with those uppercuts. So 5 possible blows landed here. Let's see if Corbett can do anything defensively, and he won't. He'll get hit with all 5 of those big shots. Power check for Foreman, and that's a 5. Possible knockdown result. Corbett, 3! He is hurt. Corbett is hurt because knockdown is a 2 or less. A 4 means he's hurt. So he is hurt, and hurt bad. So Foreman will go unaccosted in segment 7. So if he is able to land a big punch, we have to check for do we check for a TKO when he's hurt initially? He is hurt. Do we check for a TKO? A TKO check occurs whenever a fighter who is hurt in that segment absorbs 3 or more punches during the segment he is hurt. Okay, hurt fighter. Yeah, so it's the next one. If he gets hurt, we check TKO result. All right, so we'll just roll the red die because that's all that matters. That's a 3, and he's going to be on the inside where he wants to be. So it doesn't matter and he can't block anything because he's hurt, and he can't counter. So let's see if Foreman lands 0 through 33, it could be a possible TKO. And he doesn't. Oh, man. 65. He misses his punches. So Corbett, weebling and wobbling, somehow avoids all those shots. We move to segment 8. A big opportunity there missed by Big George Foreman. Final 45 seconds, around 5. A 3 and a 2. Foreman with a 2 stars on the inside against 1 star on the inside for Corbett. So Corbett still has not cleared his head yet. Here comes Big George once again on the inside, and this time he's going to land. He needed to do that before. That's a 25. That would have been 3 punches. Would have been a TKO check, but it's too late now. So that's a 25. 3 big punches on the inside with that uppercut being the big shot at the end. Was Corbett able to dip, dodge, and block any of the blows? No, he takes them all. Power check. And again, that's a 3. So a possible knockdown or hurt. And it's a 12. So Corbett survives that. We go to the final 25 seconds of round 5. It's been all Big George. I mean, it's close with points, but Big George has landed the fudding blows. Can Corbett steal the round here in the final 25 seconds? That's a 4 and a 2. 2 on the outside for Foreman, and only 1 on the inside. Corbett still trying to clear his head. He won't throw any punches, but Big George sure will. From the outside, he's going to wing a couple, and that's a 37 from the outside. It's a 3-punch combination that possibly landed, and that should win the round for Big George. Let's see if Corbett blocks anything. That's a 4. So on defense, he blocks 1, but 2 punches get through. Power check, and that's a 4. Another possible knockdown as Big George landing thudding punches. Again, Corbett needs a 5 or more to avoid being hurt or knocked down, and it's a 14. And there's the bell. So Foreman was able to hurt Corbett bad, just couldn't follow it up. Did land some more hard scoring blows. Corbett landed 9 punches, which will bring Foreman's stamina down to 3. Foreman landed 11 punches, and he had Corbett stunned. And that will bring Corbett's stamina down to 28 as we approach round number 6. Harold Letterman gives it 10-9 to Foreman. Adelaide Bird, as that is only a 2-point difference. So we will roll for Adelaide Bird. And that's a 5, and she'll give it to the high scorer, 1 through 10. She gives it to the high scorer. So she gives it to Foreman 10-9. I agree with that. If I was scoring it, I would have given it to Foreman 10-9. And now Richard Green. That's a 13. I believe that's going to go to Corbett. No. 1 through 13. He still, with a 4-point differential or less, he still gives it to Foreman. So Foreman starting to build up a points lead, but losing his stamina. He'll be out of stamina after this round. He only has 3 stamina points left, and Corbett has 28. Oh, shoot. 1-shot knockout power. Add opponent's chin KO rating. Okay, KO rating. We didn't get to the KO rating because he never went down. So Foreman's special is an Iceman. 1-shot power +1 to opponent's chin for KO rating. We didn't get there. And Corbett is minus an extra, which I've messed up because every time he blocks a punch, he should be blocking another punch, which I did perfectly offline. And now I'm looking at it. I missed the traits. So Corbett's absorbed a lot of extra punishment at times. As when it's -1 should be -2, and it's -2 should be -3. Oh well, that's the way it is. Alright, we go to round 6. Here we go. Foreman with momentum. Round 6, as he is tiring badly, he's going to try to end it here. 4s across the board. A 4, 2 on the outside for Foreman, and a 2 on the outside for Corbett. So Foreman goes first, and that's a 98, and a 98 is a possible foul. He does score a point, a punch. And again, Foreman, only a 3 foul rating, and that's a 10, so there's no foul, and he gets away with that little shot on the inside. And here comes Corbett on the outside, and that's a 28. A 28 is a 3-punch combination possibly landed. For Corbett, again, nothing really on those punches, but Foreman is tiring. You never know. Let's see if anything is done. Oh, that's a 2. Foreman might actually block. Foreman gets his hands up and actually parries one away. He blocks one. And now we go to a power check. And, of course, that's a 6, which is well out of Corbett's range. Segment 2, round number 6. That's a 1 for Foreman. That's no stars on the nothing on the outside. And a 2. That's 1 star on the inside. That's good enough for Corbett. So Foreman tries to rough up Corbett on the inside. Corbett is able to pull away, and he's going to throw some punches on the way out. And that's a 90. And he will clinch. So Foreman just grabs onto him and tries to rough him up. And that ends that segment. We move to segment 3. When you clinch, that ends the segment. So that's a 4 and a 3. 2 on the outside for Foreman, and 2 on the outside for Corbett. Corbett will go first. Foreman will go first. And that's a 98. Again, Foreman getting away with those little dirty tactics in there. 98. He's going to land a punch. And now we roll for the foul rating. And that's a 10, so no foul. And here comes Corbett back on the outside as he gets his distance. That's a 47 from the outside for Corbett. He lands a brisk 1-2. Quick punches, just trying to score and move away. Let's see if Foreman's able to get his big hands up. He can't block anything. Power check. And that's a 4. Again, you need a 2. So no power on Corbett's punches whatsoever. We move to segment 4 of round 6. And that's a 1 for Foreman and a 2. The more stars is that's how you determine who has control. A 1 for Foreman is nothing on the outside. A 2 is 1 on the inside. So Corbett is unfortunately getting trapped on the inside, but Foreman's so tired he's not throwing punches. So Corbett's going to try to wail away on the inside. That's going to be a pretty good result. That's an 8 on the inside. An 8. He's going to land 4 quick punches and try to move away. See if Foreman can defend himself there. That's a 5. He shall not defend himself. In fact, he's so horrific on that. Corbett lands 1 more for good measure. And now power check. And it's a 1! It's a 1! A tiring George Foreman possibly could go down here. That's a 1. Man, if it was the next round, he would have been done. Because it would have moved up. Well, not done, but okay. So Foreman, 6 and under. A 6 and under, he's staggered or he goes down. So a 1, 2, 3, he goes down. A 4, 5, 6, he is hurt. It's an 11. So Big George is able to absorb the smaller man's blows. He did feel them, though, and you can sense him tiring. Foreman is tiring badly. As Corbett's sensing it, and he's trying to come on. The smaller man trying to come on. And it's snake eyes. A 1 for Foreman is not a good result. Nothing. And a 1 for Corbett is a 2 on the outside. So Corbett's going to pot shot him from the outside. And he's going to land. That's a 30. It was a 35. As I moved it by accident. A 35 from the outside. 3 punches will land. 2 jabs and a cross. Quick snapping. You can see Foreman's head snapping back. Shades of Muhammad Ali and Zaire's. 12. Let's see if Foreman blocks anything. 7. He doesn't add or block. And now power check is an 8. Again, well out of Corbett's range. We move to segment 6 of round 6. Foreman dead tired now. And that's a 5-4. And Foreman, 1 on the inside against 2 on the outside. Foreman is just slowing down. Corbett taking pot shots from the outside now. That's a 59. I do believe that's going to land, though. And it just does. Another quick 1-2. And roll for defense. And that's that. Foreman has no effect on anything. And it's a 1! Oh, my Lord. Corbett, again, could possibly drop Big George Foreman. Foreman needs a 7 or more. And it's a 7. Whoa, he just lucked out. So he will not be hurt or go down. We move to segment 7. It's been all James J. Corbett using his defensive skill and ring generalship, darting in and out, rat-a-tatting Big George Foreman. It's a 4-4. That's 2 on the outside for Foreman and 2 on the outside for Corbett. Corbett will go first because he has momentum. And it's a 39 from the outside. 3-punch combination, 2 jabs and a right hand. He's up to 17 punches landed this round. See if Foreman can block anything, and he does. Foreman rolls a 1. He actually blocks a punch. Roll for power. No power for Corbett. And now Big George, a tiring Foreman, will retaliate from the outside, and it's going to be a 20. That is a 4-punch combination. Could it be Foreman's last hurrah, as he will be out of stamina as this round comes to an end? 4 big punches possibly could land. Can Corbett, again, now when we roll, if he blocks, I have to minus another off. And it's a 5. So he's going to actually block 3 punches on this because actually, I'm sorry, he's going to block 2. 1 through 5 is normally a -1. But, he's a defensive wizard. That's an additional punch blocked, and I forgot to do that initially because I forgot to look at the traits. So Foreman will lose 2 punches, go back down to 4, but 2 did get through. Power check, 14, nothing. We go to segment 8. Big George is dead tired. And that's a 6 for Foreman, which is a 2 on the inside against a 4, which is a 2 on the outside. Corbett goes first. That's a 34 for Corbett. A 34 for Corbett on the outside. Another 2 jabs and a right hand. He's just pecking away. Let's see if Foreman tiring. Can he block anything? No, he cannot. Power check. No power for Corbett. And now Foreman trying to retaliate, throwing wild blows. And that's a 49. And on the inside, a 49. He will miss. He will miss those wild shots. Wide, wild shots. Corbett has an opportunity to counter here. And he does. That's a 3. In a 3, he lands 2 punches on the counter. He's up to 21 punches landed, and I played on the counter. He still hit him, and he hit him with counters, usually decent shots. And if you're getting countered, it means you're a bit. So I like to roll for the power check again. That's just me. 19 possible cut. Again, it's just the way I play. 19 a possible cut again, and Foreman had that cut on his cheek. So a 19 for Foreman, possible cut, and his cut is 6 and under. And it's an 11, so no cut. We move to the final 20 seconds of round 6. It's been all. You know, if he scores 1, 2, 3, 4. If he gets a 4-punch combination, it's a TKO. 25 punches in a round is a TKO. Grant you have some whole rules I've been playing with because they get mixed up in my head when I play offline. So I've kind of been playing with a mixture of them. And that's a 5-5. 1 on the inside for Foreman. Nothing for Corbett, so there'll be no TKO possibility, at least. So Big George will wing away a tiring Foreman, and that's an 81. He will miss his shots from the inside. And you know what? Here's the countering opportunity, and it's a 20, and Corbett misses. Foreman will have momentum even though he's tiring because he threw the punches. So a huge round for Corbett. As Foreman only lands 4 punches, he winged away and missed a ton of shots. Corbett, that's where his defensive wizardry came in. Corbett landed 21 blows. Okay, now I'm going to make sure I do the TKO thing. I still don't do this right. TKO. See, if he had 25 punches, it would have been automatic. If a T hits 0 to start the next round, or any accessment has the following effects. Yep. Every punch it's -1, and then you use the second chin and knockout rating. All punches landed by a fighter are reduced by 1 for the rest of the fight. Alright, so it'll be near impossible for these idiots to give the round to Foreman, but you never know. Letterman gives it 10-9. I mean, you could have scored that 10-8, but we'll give it 10-9 to Corbett. Adelaide Bird, as the differential is 1 through 18, she gives it to Corbett. And it's a 6. So Corbett wins that 10-9. Again, I would have given it a 10-8 round. And now Richard Green, a 13. He too, actually he just gives it to the 1 through 20, goes to the high for Richard Green, so it doesn't matter. So a huge round for Corbett. And Corbett still has 24 stamina. Foreman stamina is done here as we approach round 7. This is where Corbett wanted to take him in the deep water. So anything landed by Foreman will be -1. And his power rating goes from 7 now to a 4. And the killer instinct thing, that's when you knock someone down, I think, goes from an 11 to an 8. So Corbett, he's beaten Sam McVeigh. Can he beat George Foreman? This would be an upset in my books. But he's gotten him in deep water, and that's where he wants to go. There we go, segment 1, round 7. It's been a thriller here. And that is a 4 and a 6. So a 4 for Foreman is 2 on the outside, and a 6 is 1 on the outside. So Big George, a tiring Foreman, is going to throw those wide, lumbering punches, and he's going to land. He's going to land. That's a 36. From the outside, it would be 3, but it goes to 2 because he's tired. So he possibly lands 2 hard punches. Corbett defense is a 4. He's not going to land poop, as that's a -1 plus another -1. Foreman misses all the punches. And that ends that segment. We go to segment 2. So when you're tired, you can see the fatigue sets in. And we roll, and it's a 3-6. And this is where Corbett beat McVeigh too in these rounds, as he wore out McVeigh. That's a 3 for Foreman. That's 2 on the inside against a 6. That's a 1 on the outside. Again, Foreman, even though he's tiring, he's the bigger man. He's trying to impose his will, and that's a 58. A 58 on the inside. Foreman will miss. He's tiring. He's missing. And here's a countering opportunity, and Corbett misses. We go to segment 3. Corbett just playing it safe here, trying to conserve his energy here in round 7. Round 6, excuse me. Round 7. Round 7. And that's a 6 for Foreman. That's 2 on the inside against a 5, and that's nothing on the inside for Corbett. So Corbett's trapped down the ropes, playing a little rope-a-dope here. That could be dangerous. Foreman's going to throw 75. He will miss. Corbett will try to counter off the ropes, and he misses. And now he moves away, tries to get to the center of the ring. We move to segment 4 of round 7, and that's a 6 for Foreman. 2 on the inside against a 2, 1 on the inside. So Corbett just playing defense here. That could be dangerous. As Foreman's going to wail away on the inside, and this time he might land. That's a 25 on the inside. 3 punches minus the fatigue makes it possibility of 2 punches landed. Can Corbett's defense come into play here? No, it won't. 2 punches land. Power check is a 12, well out of the range. We go to segment 5 of 7. And that is double 4. A 4 is 2 on the outside for Foreman, and a 2 on the outside for Corbett. Foreman had the momentum, so he will throw first. That's a 54 from the outside. He misses. A countering opportunity for Corbett, and Corbett misses his counter, but now follows up with his combination, and that's a 23. That was a 23. A 23 for Corbett. And 4 punches. Quick 4 punches, snapping Foreman's head. Will Foreman block any? 5, no. He's so tired. Another shot's landed by Corbett for good measure. That's 5. Power check again. Corbett needs a 2 or lower, and he does not get it. It's a 17. We go to segment 6 of round 7. And that's a 1 for Foreman, which is nothing. And a 5, and that's nothing. So they're going to wail away. Foreman from the outside. Corbett from the inside. Corbett goes first because he landed. And that's a 98, and that's going to be a foul. From the outside, Corbett does land 1 punch. Now, again, his foul rating 9 and under, and it's an 8. And he's already been warned for holding. So that's an 8. We roll for the foul now, and that's a 16. And it's the second time he's warned for holding. That's the second time he is warned for holding. A third time, that would be a point deduction. So the second warning for holding. Yep, 1 more, it's a point. And now here comes Big George. No, George has nothing because he rolled a 1. So there's nothing for George. We move to segment 7. Corbett still with momentum. And that's a 6-2. 2 inside for Foreman. And 1 inside for Corbett. So Foreman trying to reach down in his reserves now. He's got to land something big, and that's not going to do it. That's a 70. On the inside, those punches are missed. Corbett has an opportunity to counter, and that's a 13. He misses his counter. Final 45 seconds around 7. It's been all Corbett. He's played a lot of defense as Foreman just gets more and more tired. Take him to the deep water and drown him. That's what Corbett's corner and Corbett want to do. That's a 4. That's 2 on the outside for retiring George Foreman. And a 1, 2 on the outside for Corbett. Foreman will go first. That is a 12 from the outside. 4 punches minus 1 is a 3. Possibly 3 punches might land. Corbett rolls for defense, and all 3 do land. Power check, and that's a 15. So that's it for that. Now Corbett gets his turn from the outside, and that's a 49 for Corbett. From the outside, 49. He lands a quick jab and right hand. As he's finding Foreman an easy target because he's so tired. 18. Foreman cannot defend himself, or no punches are added. Power check. Again, Corbett needs a 2 or lower, and he doesn't get it. That's an 8. Final 20 seconds of round 7. Can Corbett finish it off quick and in style? 2-2. Foreman, 2 stars on the outside. Corbett, 1 on the inside, so Foreman will wail away at the bell. And that's a 72. He misses. Countering opportunity is a 7 for Corbett. And, a 7. No, he misses. 1 through 6 he lands, but that's a 7, and there's the bell. And a tiring Foreman will actually have momentum, I believe. But he is dead tired. And here's the other thing. He only landed 5 punches. Corbett still has 19 stamina as we approach round 8. So he landed 5. Foreman landed 5. Corbett landed 8. Three-punch differential. So Letterman gives it to the high scorer all the time. It's 10-9 Corbett. Adelaide Bird, 5. She'll give it to Corbett. She's judge number 1. And Green, Richard Green, 2. He'll give it to Corbett. So Corbett, with 9 minutes to go, and a lot of confidence. We now go to round number 8, and George Foreman is on fumes. Let's see if Corbett can take him out here. That'd be, if I was in Corbett's corner, I'd say just box, box, box. Well, let's see what happens. That's a 4 for Foreman, and a 3 for Corbett. So a 4 is 2 outside, and Corbett's a 2 outside. Foreman will go first. A tiring George Foreman, those big arms lumbering away as he throws punches at the quicker gentleman Jim Corbett. That's a 25. They're going to find Corbett possibly a 25 from the outside for Foreman. Possibility of 3 punches landed, but he's tired, so it's only 2. Minus 1. Corbett rolls for defense. It's a 14, so 2 punches do land. Foreman rolls for power. It's a 19. A 19 is a possible cut or swelling for Corbett. So now we roll. Corbett's a 19, and that is nothing because it's a 4 for Corbett or lower. Corbett had a 3. So now it's Corbett's turn to go. So Corbett gets to retaliate from the outside, and that's going to be a 47. And he'll land a quick 1-2 again. And a tiring Foreman tries to defend himself. He can't. He's hit with 2 punches. Power check is a 7. Again, Corbett, non-existent power. You need 2 or under. We go to segment 2 of round number 8. You can just see Foreman tiring and tiring. It's almost like the Jimmy Young fight in Puerto Rico when he retired the first time after the fight. So that's a 1 for Foreman. No stars, so Corbett will be at bay to bludgeon him now. 1 on the inside. Corbett feeling his oats. He's going to go on the inside and try to rip shots, and he's gonna. That's a 12. So on the inside, a 12, and he's going to land 4 punches and dart back out. Can Foreman defend himself? Foreman actually gets his hands up and parries away 1 of those shots. Power check. And it's a 1! It's a 1! Holy cow. A possible knockdown. Okay, so it's a 1. You need to roll a 2 or under, and we rolled a 1 for Corbett. Now we have to use the second thing. So Foreman goes down on a 6 or lower. He's hurt on a 10 or lower. So it's a 50-50 shot that he will be hurt. 1 through 10 is not a good result for Big George Foreman, and it's a 4. Big George Foreman goes down. A tiring George Foreman, just like against Jimmy Young in Puerto Rico, goes down against gentleman Jim Corbett. Holy cow. So let's mark that. Scores a knockdown here in round 8. Now, okay, now, if we roll a 4 or under, Foreman will be knocked out. It's a 19, so he gets up, but I think we have to roll, because he went down, we have to roll the TKO check, I think. The will to go on. Let me just check. TKO. A TKO check occurs whenever a fighter who is hurt in that segment absorbs. No, he's got to absorb. Hurt fighter must make a will check to avoid a TKO with 3 or more punches. A hurt fighter cannot block. Yeah. Alright, so he beats the count. He is hurt. That's definitely a 10-8 round. You can't see it any other way. So that doesn't even go to the judges. 10-8 right now. So it doesn't matter. We just roll for Corbett. I got to ask Anthony about that. I think I'm supposed to do a will check. You know what? I think I'm supposed to, and that's the way I'm gonna play it. So it will be a TKO as the referee's asking Foreman. He's looking into his eyes. Do you want to go? If we roll a 6 or under, Corbett will just have TKO'd Foreman. It's a 1! The fight is over! The fight is over! The referee, Chuck Hazzett, has stopped the bout. He looks into Foreman's eyes. A tiring George Foreman, after going down when James Corbett caught him coming in. Corbett with no power, but it's a tiring George Foreman. Got up at the count of 5, took the mandatory 8. Hazlitt looked at him, asked him if he wanted to continue. Foreman, with a dazed look, didn't answer right away, then said yes, and Hazlitt has waved off the bout in a stunning upset TKO in round 8. The winner, Jim Corbett. So, the light-hitting Jim Corbett TKOs a fatiguing George Foreman. This definitely had shades of Puerto Rico. 77? When Jimmy Young beat George Foreman in Puerto Rico. He dropped Foreman twice and won a 12-round decision. So James J. Corbett, Gentleman Jim, TKOs. What a night for Jim Corbett. He wins in a bout offline that I actually played better because I remembered the traits. And he won a split decision over Sam McVeigh. Scores of the two judges who scored it for him were 97, 95, 98, 92, and Bird scored it 96, 94 for McVeigh. And in this one, Foreman gets tired. He had chances early, but Corbett stood up to the power, and then Foreman got tired, and Corbett took him out. And we had to roll a 1 or a 2, and we did, and then I think I did that right because I did the will check when you get up. I think I did that right. I'll ask Anthony tomorrow. Remember, Anthony from Bleacher Bums Gaming will be with us tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about Glory Days boxing. I messed up a few things because I didn't use the traits right away. It didn't really matter for Foreman because there were no knockdowns, but Corbett should have blocked a few more punches, which once I realized that, I started to use it. So, Evengi Crowdry says, nice, you're doing boxing. Oh, I do a lot of boxing. I do title bout with the PC where I call the fights. I'm doing a heavyweight tournament there. It's a lot of fun, so check that out if you like. Captain Carl says, Foreman is not going to need a new clock. He's getting his clock cleaned this round by Corbett. Yeah, it was a lot similar. This is a really nice game. It's a fun game. Like I said, I messed up a couple of things. Didn't really, if anything, it affected Corbett more. Um, but it's a beautiful game. Glory Days Boxing, developed by Anthony from Bleacher Bums Gaming. It'll be, you can purchase it in May. Anthony will be on the channel tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want, well, I want you guys to stop by and you can listen to our chat regarding Glory Days Boxing. It has a big announcement on how it's going to be distributed. It's a very fun game, and there's more to it than the beta. And you can ask Anthony all kinds of questions. A really good sim. It's a really good sim. I really do enjoy it. I do like Title Bout PC also. What I like about this, though, better than Title Bout, I'm not a card flipper. I don't like card flipping, so I do like the dice rolling. Very minimal charts. I think I messed up a couple of things, but not that major. I still enjoy it. I do see the problem is I play with homebrew rules with all my games sometimes, and then when I play them online, I try to play them the way the rules say, and I think I got them a little mixed up in my head, but it was still a lot of fun. I have to ask Anthony, and he'll probably watch this. Do you do a will check after a knockdown? I think you do, and we did, and that's where the TKO resulted for Foreman. Fun fight, good fight, very similar to, again, Jimmy Young, George Foreman. Captain Colonel says Ali let Foreman punch himself out, and Foreman tired in the Rumble and Jungle. You are correct. Now the thing is, there would be a big weight discrepancy here. Corbett would have probably come into this fight, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, 180. And Foreman in his prime usually weighed about 210, and he was all muscle. So, and Foreman was a hellacious banger. But you could see, I mean, if people think this is unrealistic, they can say that. But Peralta, I think it was Giorgio Peralta was his full name, from Argentina, gave Foreman fits their first fight. And some people thought he beat Foreman, or it should have been a draw at Madison Square Garden. Look up the fight. It's on YouTube. And Peralta weighed 190 pounds, I believe. So, it's not out of the unbelievable that a James J. Corbett at 180 could give Foreman fits if Foreman didn't take him out early. So, again, great game, Glory Days Boxing. Anthony from Bleacher Bums Gaming will be on with me tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join us, and you can ask all kinds of questions. He's also developing a baseball game, but tomorrow will be about Glory Days Boxing. I'm sure he'll talk about other things too. So I hope everyone enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. I do enjoy this game. I wanted to get it out there before. And these are the new cards that he changed up the look of the cards. So he gave me some new cards where it gives a little more of the description you can see, as opposed to just 2 punches landed. Like it says, Foreman launches a furious onslaught, 5 punches landed. And you can say, like when Corbett lands at his best, master for boxing, working levels. You just and dances in and out, firing combos. So it's a little more storytelling. It's kind of cool for someone who might not know all about boxing and things. So fun game. I might have messed a few things up. I always do in any game I play, even if it's on the PC. PC's a little harder to mess things up, but so once again, gentleman James J. Corbett, the man who defeated John L. Sullivan, has a good night tonight. He defeats offline Sam McVeigh, and that got him a shot at Foreman. He won a split decision there through 10, as 2 judges had it 97-95, 98-92 Corbett. The 3rd judge had it 96-94 McVeigh. In the nightcap, Corbett TKOs a tiring George Foreman with a counter 1-2. Down goes Foreman. He beats the count. He was up at 5 or 6. And then the referee, Chuck Hazzett, asked him, do you want to continue? Foreman, with a dazed, tiring look, and sort of nodded his head yes. He definitely didn't say no. He wanted to go on, but Hazzett waved him off, and the fight was over. He did not want to see Foreman take any more punishment. Again, shades of Puerto Rico against Jimmy Young in 1977. So thank you to Captain Carl, Evengi Crosby, Dave Gardner, HockeyTournaments.com. Check out that website and his channel. W. Vogs, wonderful card collecting channel. ID Gesture, please check that out. Sports Time Machine. Him and ID Jester played Game 1 of the 68 World Series using Strat tonight online. I got to go back and catch the end of that. Casey Jones, 1970, my own personal train collection channel. I mean, he records real train footage. I love it. It's like having a train collection in your house. Bobby Cantilano stopped by, my Twitter wife. That's great stuff. Elon was here. I didn't see him. Check out. He put up a couple of football games. I listened to a couple of them, and I got to catch the end of the one I was listening at work today. Thank you very much. Another wonderful channel. And Bubba Husky was here, good friend of the community. And the original Grognard, as always, he put up Gunslinger. So check that out. The OG, the original Grognard. Thank you very much. We did pretty good clip, an hour and a half, plus a little chat at the end. So hope everyone enjoyed it. Health and happiness. Watch out for that big left hook. Till next time, take care. Bye-bye. God bless. You know it's coming, folks. You know it's coming. Peace!